Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It is fall, finally. It's September 6th. I want to say Monday. It's Tuesday at about 9 o'clock. And we're going to do something a little different. I like to keep life interesting. During the summer months, we did these spot views at all hours of the day and showcasing a lot of different things. So trying to showcase a lot of different things to show what is possible. And we were really we weren't trying to demonstrate anything other than again, what is possible. Let me get set up here as we do this. And part of the issue is, and I discussed this with some of our members too, is that and we're doing this to create a little awareness on YouTube, stock Twitters, folks following us. By the way, we really do appreciate the pushing the like button. When you push the like button, it helps with the algos, the retweets, also helps with attendance, if you will. And we want to mix it up a little and create a little awareness. If we can grow our followers a little, we'll continue to try to do this a little bit more and more. So what's different today? What we're going to do today is actually try to end our trading as early as possible. And so let me, I need to get going here. It's 9:01. The goal is to trade no later than 10 a.m., no later. So we may end at 9:05. We may end at 9:10. We may end at 9:20. I will be in control of that. And you might say, well, that's cheating. Yeah, it is. Time in the market is a risk parameter. So let me, I need to get this automated and ready to go. You're going to see, hopefully here, orders entering up here. They'll be going in and out, and you'll see the balance here. So let's get started. So I want to maximize. Now, I don't know, just like any day, I don't know just what the market's going to throw at us. I have no control over that. I have no control, but I do have control over the amount of leverage that I want to use. I have control over the market that I want to use, and it is armed. So we're trading now. Now there's no position, we're flat, but we can, again, control a lot of different things, but not the market. Control what time we start, what time we end. There's a whole bunch of things, and being able to quit early is a huge advantage, and one that I don't think the average trader understands just how advantageous that is. You have a huge advantage over the big guys. They have to play all day, every day. They got to be exposed overnight for weeks at a time. They got billions and billions of dollars of other people's money, right? We have our own money, and we don't have, unfortunately, billions and billions, and that's okay. We're trading as a business. We're trying to create cash flow. And when we speak of cash flow, we have, there are 24 trading days in a month, 24 if you count Sunday nights. And, you can do the math from there. $100 a day, it's 2,400, 200, but you need to, I think, approach your trading in a very systematic, disciplined way. I'm not saying they necessarily have to have, we're not presenting, by the way, I'm not presenting any of this as some sort of holy grail, not presenting it, trying to suggest a claim. I'm not. We've been doing this a while, right? We have some acquired skill. I have control over turning the strategy on. I have control over turning it off. I can intervene, and that is that our first trade is in. So I can intervene. I'm going to stay focused on getting the job done, hopefully. Now, they could be, now, I guess what I was going to say is that during the summer months when we were creating some awareness and doing some things, there's a challenge there in that some of the programs that we run need hours to run, maybe in and also days to run, because anybody can have a good day. Anybody can do that. Even a program can have a good day, but can it have, more good days than bad days? And so when we were doing it, and we discussed this with other members, I discussed this with Susan. I said, I wonder if I'm doing a disservice in some respects, because we're trying to create awareness, but I know some folks may come in and see, something running for an hour or two, and it might be, extremely profitable. And then it may not be on a given day. But even on those days that it isn't profitable, if they're not there to see it later in the day, what do they walk away with, right? So that's going to limit, because our time is limited. I can't run and do this all day, every day. Our members wouldn't like that. Susan wouldn't like that. There's too much, and too much that we need to be doing. So with that in mind, I thought, what I need to do is I have a little program that I love to run that is really compressed. So in an hour, it's like running another program all day. So this program, is it a high frequency program? Yeah, it's pretty quick. It's pretty quick. And so we're going to let the program now. If I do intervene, and our day may be over before it started. Okay. And then we can see each other tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day. Maybe if you can help us grow, if you can help us see new faces and new, Tina, I love seeing you. Tina's here. Tina, it could be 2 a.m. So we're going to try to do this. I don't like, I'm pretty independent, right? So I not hate, but I don't want to necessarily say it's going to be every day. But to set some expectations, we're thinking of trying to showcase this, of what's possible each day, starting at about 9. So if you can spread the word a little bit, help us, get some views, we'd be more apt to showcase our baby. Okay, I just intervened on that trade, and I'm going to reset the strategy. And now I have a decision to make. We are 7 minutes in, 6 minutes. We'll arm the strategy again, but we probably won't be running anywhere close to 10. And guess what? I'm going to have to go find something else to do with my day. Let me make sure I don't make a mistake. But I'll hang with you. I'll let you watch Swing Machine, if you will, and I'm happy to answer some questions. A little difficult to answer the questions when we're active here. Bear with me. See if we get this teed up again. There we go. Okay, so strategy is back on. What happens is when I'm running a strategy, if I do intervene, if I step in to take a profit or limit a loss, some strategies will keep themselves in sync, but I like to play it safe. And what I do is I turn the strategy down and then reset it so it stays calibrated. But if you have any questions, feel free to post. And, I think that, during the summer months, we're probably trying to show just too much. probably a little overwhelming for you, maybe even for us. We offer, now over 70 different programs and tools. But we are just 9 minutes into our trading day, trading week. And that was trade number one. So be sure to tune in again tomorrow around 9. And we're gonna try to stay with it as long as we'll see how my schedule gets. We do have our Q school, so that can sometimes be an interruption that takes priority. We don't always have somebody in Q school. Why 24 days versus 20 if you count Sunday nights? Sunday nights, I love trading on Sunday nights. I don't like trading Friday afternoons. I love trading on Sunday nights. Now we used in leverage, that's also a choice, right? We used a mini contract, and that's pretty much my comfortable level in just about any market, with the exception of Bitcoin. A mini contract on Bitcoin is quite large, um, but one can use a micro, which is 1/10 the size, and I suppose one could use 10 minis. We could, right? We have the firepower to do that, but I don't feel a need or a compunction to do that. They're certainly liquid enough. These are the most liquid markets in the world. Billions and billions of dollars changing hands. And we just got to go in and get out a little bit. So a lot of this, I just try to help, hopefully, with expectations. And you do have to be prepared to step aside. And if we get too close to the open, we'll see where we are here. We may be done. We may be done for the day. It may have been just that one order, and we can see everybody tomorrow. And I'm okay with that. Are you okay with that? Would you be okay with $362 in your pocket? It's when you're not okay with that, then you got both fear and greed, right? That we got to control, manage. Swing Machine is doing its thing. I'm not trading specifically Swing Machine, but I am utilizing it in managing the particular strategy. Our annual members, if we have any of our annual members coming through and looking and want to know specifically what the strategy is and what the settings are from one day to the next, and we're going to probably stay pretty close to the same strategy, you can always let us know. What I'm not doing is I am not, scanning around and looking at this indicator and that indicator and this and that. No, I'm not. Totally relaxed, totally comfortable. And there's our second trade. Now we're coming off of a long weekend, so markets are a little jumpy around here at the open, but this particular program can handle short bursts of price action. And so I'm pretty comfortable with this program, even around the open. Most programs I'm not. I would rather the market open and do what it needs to do. But those other programs that we have showcased and that we have, they need many of them, hours of trading to set themselves up and to do what they need to do. This particular program is pretty aggressive and should be able to get me through a bout of volatility. We started at 9:01. This is trade number 2. I did bring trade number 1 to an early close, probably a little too early. Now the machine has total control at this point. It's equipped with profit targets. It's equipped with stops. So I I have risk, but it's limited and it's defined on each trade. So what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to stay with everybody all day like what we did during the summer months. We went on for 3, 4 hours and try to demonstrate, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. We're not going to do that. But what I am going to try to do, I think, is to showcase what is possible, and how little time you can be in this market. I'm sorry, I didn't have my microphone open. I stepped in and took that little trade. And folks, we're done. It's 9:20. We started at 9:01. 19 minutes. I'm to the good $430.20. We'll come in tomorrow and we'll start at 9. If you can help with our viewership and spread the word and get folks to look, maybe we keep doing it a little bit longer. Not longer in the day. I want to try to do this. I'm going to try between 9 and starting at 9 and at 10. Now you're on delay. So I wouldn't expect or want anyone to try to mimic this from YouTube. What we're trying to show is and actually best practices, right? And that's why I thought, I was trying to showcase during the summer months, what's possible and what it's about. And I was thinking, I'm not really probably showing best practices by starting trading at 2 a.m. and starting trading at, at whatever time and showing 2 or 3 hours of this and an hour of that. I thought, that's really not, that isn't what we do. And so I didn't think that was maybe very responsible of me to do on YouTube. So this is the approach that we've thought through. And we think that, maybe we should just try to start at a specific time, have a specific conclusion, have a program that we're very comfortable that we can have trades that can trade that kind of volatility. And demonstrate from one day to the next. Now, maybe tomorrow, I don't know. It may be the ES, it may be the Russell that we trade, or maybe it's oil, or maybe it's the NASDAQ. But to have realistic expectations and to be disciplined on it. We're just getting a question. Hey, Caleb. He's smiling. Caleb's one of our members. Does that make sense, Caleb? I was talking to Caleb about this yesterday. I said, I don't know, Caleb, I said, I'm not so sure that I'm demonstrating best practices for YouTubers, right? Caleb is one of our members, and he's likes to get in and get out, get on out. So we'll let you hang. Am I cheating you by teeing it up at 9 and going to 10 and and then quitting? You're like, what kind of crap is that? He quit. You know what he does? He quits when he's ahead. Yeah, I do. I absolutely do. That's good practice. It's really good practice. And we do. I'm going to have to go work on my irrigation. I'm going to have to take Ted for a walk. I'm going to have to go do something else. You need to learn to stop. But if you have any questions, so we'll let you watch Swing Machine, but the trading is done. We've come in and got done what we needed to get done. Some days it'll be a little bit more, a little bit less, maybe. We're going to be realistic. Again, 24 trading sessions in a month. You can't try to make it all in a day. When you get overcome with greed and say, oh man, he did that in 20 minutes. So you know what? I'm going to stay there. I'm going to do it every hour of every day. And you start, then you increase your exposure. You increase your risk. You start earlier in the day, we can be out earlier is the idea. But this is your opportunity to ask any questions you might have. It can be on anything. It can be on a market, can be on trading, can be on what you're looking at. Let's see here, oops. What did I just do here? Let's see here. Bear with me, I just messed that up. Bear with me a minute. Try to bring this into view here. I hit the, there we are. Try to bring this, that is our, there we go. That little border is interrupting here. Is this one? There we go. I'm sorry, I was chatting and I keep forgetting to open up the microphone. What I was showing is that Swing Machine actually went short the ES contract at 9 a.m. is up 500. Went short the NQ at 7:15. This is on a mini. You're up 1,175. The YM 905, you're up 340, 350. 825, you're up 280. So what I want to do is I want to give you guys, if I can here, I want to give you a daily view. I'm going to come in here and so our trading is done though. I advertised this on YouTube here just a few minutes. It's kind of not spontaneous. We were just given this thought yesterday as to how we might want to do this in the future to create some awareness of what we're doing. And so let's add symbol. Oops, no. All right, so let me get this set up here. Come in here and add another blank row. I'm going to put in a couple of other markets, namely the S&P, SPX.X, and we're going to use the VIX here. And I want to just show you something. So we're going to change the S&P to a daily view. And we're going to change the VIX to a daily view. So we can very quickly take a good hard look at where we are, where the market is. Now, the S&P cash is not trading yet. It'll open at 9:30 with the public markets. And the Swing Machine has been short for 3 days. It's generated, that's points, 30 points. That's quite a bit of money, right? If you were using an option contract, it'd be like $3,000. But it's 30 points. But on the over here, so the trend is definitely down on a daily, but over here we're approaching panic. We're approaching panic. That's not where you want to short initially. You know, if you're putting on, and we do trade options, right? So I don't want to be putting on a directional down when I'm down in panic. I would want to be preparing to go the other way. And same thing if we're in euphoria. But look at the VIX. This is what's odd to us. And we were explaining this to our members. See, the VIX is also trending down. The VIX has been trending down for 52 days, which has kept which is a little odd to us. And look where it is though. For the market being here, we would expect the VIX to be up here, and it isn't. It could get there, you know, if things get really, really gnarly today or tomorrow, or it could be a hint, a divergent hint that that this sell-off that we've had here might be done. And we're inclined to think that, but we'll But we don't trade what we think, and we don't forecast, which is a little different, right? So I'm not one of these guys that's on the Twitter sphere, forecasting and doing time cycles. I love the guy who does time cycles, right? He's like constantly adjusting his time cycle. We're just trading the here and the now, right? But why bother? We started at 9. We have our $430 in the bank. Why push it? Why be a glutton? You know, let's circle that. Need to be able to push yourself away from the table. Say enough. Tomorrow's another day. Day after that, day after that. Whatever your objectives are. Now, everyone is different, right? Everyone's liquidity or position is different. And so you have to, that's part of it. But if you have any questions on what you're watching, we'll watch this together as we open up. This is on a 5-minute basis. And let's scroll down here. You can see the Russell. We can do this with any market. Why do we trade futures? And we're asked all the time, can you do this with stocks? Yeah, absolutely. And I'm happy to plug in a stock. We certainly can do it. But it's kind of like, why, for me to trade 100 shares of Apple, if I trade 100 shares of Apple, that is, Apple's trading what at about 150, 60? So it's called 160. It's $16,000. I'm limited to when I can trade it. I got to trade it between 9:30 and 4. I got to deal with, CNBC and Jim Cramer, I buy Apple and all that nonsense and all that bullshit. It's not, it's liquid. It's pretty liquid. Whereas I can come in to the futures market and trade, in essence, the same thing. I mean, Apple moves with the futures, with the NASDAQ, almost tick for tick. And I use with a depending upon your brokerage and margin, but you're using approximately $8,000 with a mini contract. Highly liquid, very, very liquid. What do I mean? And again, what do I mean by liquid? The difference between the bid and the ask is very, very tight. That's what I'm not crazy about options. I don't find them all of them. You can't assume because there's a market for options that they're liquid. You put in an order and then all of a sudden you're immediately down like $200. If you want to use a micro contract, the margin on a micro is on the NASDAQ is $1,500, 1/10. Now, so if we had done that this morning for our two little trades that were totally robotic, yeah, you'd be up $43. Okay. I mean, the amount of leverage that you use is directly commensurate, with risk, both payoff. Everyone focuses on the payoff, but Bagger also focuses on the risk side, right? And if you have the way that we think about this is we have a discipline, we have an approach, we have all the time in the world. I mean, I have plenty of time. Hopefully, knock on wood, plenty of time. So why not put it to my advantage? And I force the market, to pitch to me. Right? I'm not going to play on their terms. Screw them. That's just my take. But so we'll be back. We'll continue to watch this, and I'll answer any questions. But we started just a few minutes before 9, and we turned the program on, and we had 2 trades, and by 9:19 we're done. We're done. Both trades went in on the machine. Both trades, when they went in, the loss was limited. It had a profit objective. It could have been much higher. I also had the power, the control to end the trade early if I want. And I will do that, especially earlier on a day. And I'm thinking, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, it's been a long weekend. I didn't verbalize this, but I'm not particularly fond of the open around 9:30. I was like, if I can get this done before 9:30, great. I'm in the house. You can do that. It's okay. I'll just point out to you on the calendar here, we are here. This contract, let me think about this. Yeah, it's going to, in all likelihood, this is the September contract, the U. It's probably going to roll, meaning the December contract, which is the next one, is going to probably start trading more volume than the U contract, probably on Friday. The U contract, the September contract, is going to die, will go away forever on the 16th. So this contract's going to roll here. So we'll start trading the December contract, certainly probably by the 9th. Little unusual this time. Usually the Federal Reserve meets right in here, but they're going to be meeting in here around the 21st. So there'll be a Fed day in there, and they'll be making some noise. And usually, which is a little bit odd here, usually the bears don't like to short and sell on an expiring contract because the volumes get pretty thin, get pretty light. And there's an old saying, you don't want to short a dull or boring market. Now, when I say that, you'd be like, well, no, wait a minute. You shorted. Intraday is, what we did this morning between 9 and 9:20. That doesn't apply, right? We're trading the here and the now when we're doing that. But if you're trying to get on a position, you're trying to buy the market for weeks at a time or use options, then you do need to be aware of that sort of thing. And so I'd be inclined to think, if I had a little bit of a bias, that we're probably going to begin to rally. I would think later today, certainly tomorrow. Oh, today's Tuesday. I'm thinking Monday. I keep thinking today's Monday. I think I called it Monday, Tuesday. I'm thinking Monday morning. The markets were actually open on Sunday night. That was the other thing. The futures were open on Sunday night. They were open yesterday on Labor Day while everyone else is having watermelon and hot dogs, tube steaks, and enjoying themselves. The banks are in here carving them up. They were open up until about 1 o'clock. See, they don't leave their money exposed. No. But they, everybody else, they do. So we do now. Historically, which really interesting, going back, 150 some odd years, 200 years, September is usually the worst month of the year. And there's a reason for that too. And a lot of times the markets actually bottom. A lot of people think it's October. Actually, a lot of times, not all the time, but they will bottom sometimes in October. Been studies about that. Why is that? Is it Halloween? Why is the market so negative at this time of the year? What it is, I think, is a lot of the mutual funds and a lot of the moneyed people on Wall Street, they end their fiscal year and their bonuses are all calculated this time of year. And so they're going to lock it in. They lock in. This trade here on the ES on Swing Machine, this 9 o'clock trade is still functioning, still alive. It's up some $900. The 715 on Swing Machine is still up almost 1,900, 2,000 now. It's up. I don't try to get it all. We don't, you may be looking, oh, why don't you get in there? Get in there. Get that money. Get it. No, just kidding. We got our share. Got our share. Got to be okay with that. If you come at these markets with the idea that you're going to get it all, that's when you get, you get in trouble, right? So if you come back tomorrow, we'll hopefully the plan, I think we'll do this for a little while. I don't know how long, for maybe at least a week. Maybe you do it longer. I don't know. If you help us with the follows and the retweets and say, hey, you know what, folks, you guys need to come in and watch something. It's pretty cool. But we'll do it tomorrow. I'll commit to do it. And we'll turn on at 9 and we'll let the machine trade, probably the NASDAQ. We'll see what we do. And again, why do we do this? We're not doing it, obviously, so that folks can shadow the trades. We don't even do that. We don't do that for our members. We don't. I'm not a broker, not a financial advisor. We do provide all the tools, but we're trying to demonstrate, we're trying to create an awareness. We're trying to demonstrate, I should be sure to finish this. We're trying to demonstrate best practices. We're not trying to demonstrate necessarily an outcome. However, I understand, I think that's, that folks are passing by on YouTube, they want to see, the outcome. I get it. So that's where, again, I don't want to repeat myself, but, during the summer months, we did this quite a bit and we're showing programs and I just couldn't, we could have a program like running here, this 5-minute, we've only had since 4 a.m. we've had 4 trades and 5 over here. This is a trade counter right here. This portion is counting the trades. So there may not be another trade here for another couple of hours. So it's very difficult for me to demonstrate best practices on how to operate Swing Machine. I can't actually. That's the reality of it. I can't demonstrate its full potential in just a couple of hours. It takes, at least a few days, and we spend a few days with everybody in the Q school, and then it takes some weeks actually, and so that's where I thought, well, we want to showcase this and what it's capable of doing, aspects of it, but let's at the same time, let's try to demonstrate an outcome. I hope that makes sense. And so I'm just in trying to do that. I said to Susie, and this is what I was discussing with Caleb even yesterday, I said, well, if I want to start at 9 each day, I know the market's going to be open and, normal session hours is going to be a little volatile. I need to be running. I've got to go into our library of strategies, and I got to pick a strategy that is capable of generating some orders for me and has a good performance, so that I can get done what I need to get done well before 10 is the idea. Good morning, Dennis. How are you? Dennis, I want to, I'm glad you checked in, Dennis. If you didn't see, well, I'm going to show later, Dennis. I will, when we finish, if you're here after 10, Dennis was, Dennis and I is one of our annual members, and was having a conversation about the daily trend, and being very selective and having an idea on what the daily trend is. But actually, he may not have actually said daily trend, Dennis. I don't want to put words in your mouth. He was more interested in, he also said the high and the low of the previous day. And so this is the deal for me on this. And this, is open for discussion, is open for consideration by every individual trader. There isn't a right or wrong on this, right? But for me, when Swing Machine is picking up trends for sure. And when we're trading the 135, these trends are very, very close together, right? Very close, 135. But I can throw this ES contract into a daily trend. And my thought on this is, though, that what the daily trend is doing on any market is really too far removed for me to make any kind of decision on what I might do intraday. It's just too far removed. Now, do I pay attention to the daily trend? I absolutely do. Do I use the daily trend? Yes, I do. Where and when do I use it? Well, it's not intraday. It's on position trading, going out days or weeks or months. And when I do that, by the way, I leverage down. I don't use as much leverage, and I generally use options. So I'll do that. Well, what if we dropped it to 240 minutes? That too is a little too far removed. What if we dropped it down to an hour? Okay, at an hour, we're at least getting now closer. I do think that an hourly trend could serve as a filter for what you might want to be doing on an intraday basis. I'd probably be okay with that. An hourly trend on Swing Machine could also be tradable for options that are expiring in 5, 6, 7, 8 days. We did that last week. Susan and I did. We went after a very short dated option. We don't do that a whole lot, but we did. But we have another tool. So, but one of the things that that you can use, that we do use, and we have a tool for this, then we don't show it here. And I'm going to show Dennis later this morning and our members that are here in the room. We have something that measures what we call the fairway boundaries, and it gives us very specific, more than just the high and the low of the previous day. It gives us the resistance points and support points of the previous day's action. And I do think that information is relevant to what you might be looking at and might be doing intraday. Okay, so we're going to say goodbye to YouTube. And we didn't have 10,000 people. I didn't expect that, right? But maybe we'll have more tomorrow, the next day. We'll only do this to the extent that there are folks there. But did we cheat a little bit by ending early? Yeah, we did. That's okay. And that's what you want to do. So if there's a delay on YouTube of about 60 seconds or so, thereabouts, 30, 40 seconds. It's 9:49. We're wrapping up. If anyone's got any questions on YouTube, now's your chance. You're welcome to visit Stock Market Academy. You're welcome to give us a call. Trading needs to be disciplined. We come in here, look at this, this 9 a.m., 1400, 7:15, right? It can be a little bit maddening, looking at this and how come I don't have that money? How come I don't make that money? And I use this all the time, but, fly fishing. I'm self-taught on fly fishing. I thought I could go out and get all the equipment, and I went on trip after trip after trip. And Susan's like, you know what? I don't know. I don't know if there is such a thing as a trout because I never caught any. And then one day a gentleman came into the river about 50 yards from me. I'd been in there for hours standing there. And, Susan's on the shore reading a book. And all of a sudden this dude starts catching trout. And I'm like, what the fuck? I think Susan was like, what? I watch it. I just stopped. Actually, I stopped fishing. I'm just watching this guy. I got out of the river without making a mess, and I sat down, kind of down on my dauber. And Susan just looks at me like, oh, oh, hey, she stopped reading her book. She'd been watching me for a couple of hours, splash her, not a couple of hours, like, a couple of years. I hadn't caught anything. So, hey, you might want to talk to that guy. You think? No, he's probably not going to tell me anything. But he did. And he gave me fantastic advice. Find a mentor. Learn. And that's what we're about. We're about teaching folks that want to learn, not handing out the fish. We're going to say goodbye to YouTube. We wish you the best today. We're done. And we're going to chat with our members, and we wish you the best.